Motor City Sports Talk, we in the building. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. And let's kind of talk a little bit about what is it going to take for Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn to save their job from a fan standpoint of view. Now, we know what Martha said. They had to make the playoffs, but I don't think anybody with a brain believes what Martha has to say on that. Do they got a rough schedule coming up? Oh, yeah, they got a nice little schedule coming up. It could change depending on how injuries, come down and stuff of that nature, man. So you really don't know how the season going to go down. You playing Deshaun Watson in Houston, and he get injured, then that should be a winnable game. You playing Indianapolis, you thinking, oh, that could be a winnable game right now. What if, Phillip Rivers get on the road? You playing Chicago. Man, what if Nick Foles get on the road? So some of the easy games can turn to hard games. Some of the hard games can turn to easy games. And that's just the way it is, okay? But as far as what's going to be a respectable way to keep their job, it has to be something that's got to be better than what he had last year and the year before last, which is 6-10. Is 8-8 respectable? I mean, yeah, it's moving in the right direction. Is there some excuses that could be had as far as, oh, if this guy get injured or... no, it's no more excuses. Last year was the most injury-prone year I remember the Lions having in recent memory. It was. If Stafford go down this year and Chase Daniels don't get the job done, I mean, they still should be fired. So, at the end of the day, injuries cannot be used as an excuse here. Whatever the record is this year, it is what it is. Me personally, for them to save their job, it has to be 8-8. It has to be 2 wins better than they were 2 years ago and 5 wins better than they was. And they were moving in that type of direction where the defense started to get it. Patricia showing better, defensive schemes, and he mixing it up, and he kind of getting sexy with his blitzes and getting exotic with his fronts and disguising coverage better. And he make the adjustment, and that defense is somewhere in the top 10 range, maybe 11, 12 range. And we kind of moving in that right direction where, hey, man, if we add a pass rusher or two, or if we get a linebacker, we like 2 or 3 players away, and a majority of his free agents work out on defense, I don't mind giving him another shot. Because he has some bad apples in the building with Quadre, Damon Harrison, and Darius Slay. Did he turn some of those, shiny red apples into rotten apples? Absolutely he did. But if Trufant come in and play well, and Okuda play well, and most of their draft picks playing well, why would you want to, defensively, why would you want to break up, the camaraderie and break up the rhythm? If that defense is trending up and they in the top 10, top 12 of the league, and it look like he's starting to come together, his system trying to play well, then why not? But if that's the case and you got a healthy Stafford, you should be looking at, you should be, and they can start running the ball or something else. You should be looking at 10 wins. And remember, they added an extra team in the playoffs because only one bye now. So they added an extra team. So the Lions could be 8-8 or 7-9 and get into the playoffs. All I'm asking is the team be trending in the right direction. His system looked like it's starting to work. Year 1, year 2, 9-7 wasn't good enough, but what they did was tear it down. They tore it down, they tore it down, they tore it down, they tore it down. Okay, fine and dandy. Now let's start to reap the benefits of tearing it down and getting Patricia and Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia and Quinn Tricia's guys in the building to start doing well. But my whole thing is, other than the record, certain things have to really be going in the right direction. And I'm looking defensively. Can Patricia get better at his scheme? As the players get more comfortable in the scheme? If it started to kind of look like New England, where they're stopping the run well, they learning how to, they learning how to plug the gaps. They learning how to, just get comfortable. They know how to pass over if they play zone, pass the zones over. They learn how to, the DB's playing a lot better than. I get it. I truly do. I get it. If everything looking to go up and up on that side of the ball, cool. And another thing they can say they making is if the running backs start running the ball well. If they can crank that running game up and the defense can play well, that's a couple things that the Lions been sorry in the last few years. It's defense and running the ball. They've been sorry at that for a while. So they can get Swift running the ball well, and they get some production out the run game, and they can protect Stafford. Man, yeah. And Matt Patricia starts showing more knowledge as far as game managing. Then, you know, at the end of the day, I say keep him. My floor and my ceiling is the same thing, 8-8. That's my thing. If they go 8-8, he can keep his job. And the defense is trending to go good. And they go 8-8, and it's basically like the last few games of the season, they start playing well. No, that's not good enough. But the defense ain't been playing well all season, or they ain't been able to run the ball. It gotta be a strong 8-8. It gotta be a strong 8-8. Not at the end of the season. We won 3 games at the beginning. The last 5 games, we start winning games. No, it gotta be a strong 8-8. The defense gotta look better from off rip. The offense gotta look better. The run game gotta look better. Patricia gotta look more comfortable. The team gotta be looking to stay still engaged with them. So my whole thing is 8-8 for the squad, man. And that's my. And people say, "Oh, CJ should be the playoff, this, that, and the third." I'm not mad at you. If you think it should be the playoffs, and it's playoffs a bust, well, I'm not knocking you, especially with the extra space, with the extra spot in the playoffs now. Because remember, they added a team to each conference, and it's not 2 byes no more; it's 1 bye. So if that's the case, I'm not mad at you if that's your opinion. But I'm just saying, my floor and my ceiling is the same thing. You got to be at least 8-8, and don't forget, 8-8 can get you in the playoffs this year. But there's no excuses. If the defense still playing sorry, man, I'm looking at a point where they might need to fire them in the middle of the season. If we going out there and we still bottom in the league of pass rushing, you go out there and we still can't stop a nosebleed. We going out there and Trufant getting burned, and Okuda struggling, and Harrison and Walker struggling. Remember, the whole defense is Matt Patricia's defense now. You know? So if we going through that situation, we gotta leave where it is. If Stafford go down, and that's not an excuse, no more excuses. Because I don't know if it's Martha or Bob Quinn is just refusing to draft a quarterback for the Lions. But they gotta find them. They can't use that as an excuse. You brought Chase Daniels on. So if Stafford go down for 5 games, 2 games, or for the rest of the season, Chase Daniels better be able to get you to 8-8. Real talk. But you really don't know who it is about taking a quarterback. Look here, Bob Quinn had a successful head coach in Jim Caldwell, but he wanted his own guy as the head coach, right? You think Bob Quinn don't want his own quarterback? I think Martha is refusing to let them get their own quarterback, and therefore Bob Quinn shouldn't have took the job. If you don't have complete control over your personnel, and your owner don't let you want to do something, like, look here, Martha, I can't do it with Stafford, or Stafford on his way out. We gotta get him a replacement. And they just telling you, no, Stafford stays. We're not getting another quarterback. I think that's the scenario. To be honest, I think that is the scenario. Is that Bob Quinn want to get a quarterback, but Martha will not let him get a quarterback, and everybody in the league know it. Everybody in the National Football League knows it, that Martha will not let them get another quarterback. I think that's the God-honest truth. And that's just my opinion, but I think Bob Quinn want another quarterback. He want to get an heir apparent to Matthew Stafford. He want to do what Green Bay and Philadelphia did, and get Jalen Hurts and get him a Jordan Love. He want to do that. Even with Jacob Eason was there, a guy that had a second and a late first round grade on him at one point in his draft process. Couldn't do it. So it's a little bit more to the success and the rise and the failure to a lot of the general managers and coaches here. I think it's some things that Bob Quinn can't do because of the owner. He probably want to splurge money on big name free agents. Martha probably won't let him. And I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if down the line, more people don't come out and say, well, yeah, Martha didn't want to spend the money, or I wanted the quarterback and Martha wouldn't let me get another quarterback, and she likes Stafford way too much, and this, that, and the third. I can see that being a real, true possibility in the situation. Does that make me look at Bob Quinn's tenure any different? A little bit. But not a lot, because you still failed on the offensive line all these years. You failed on Wagner, you failed on Lang, Swanson, I think, was his. Maybe Mayhew, Grascott was his, Taylor Decker was his. You missed. The one thing you had to tack to come to Detroit, it wasn't the defense. The defense was good before you got rid of Caldwell and Terrell Austin. The defense was good. The one issue you had was the Lions weren't able to run the ball. It was shown when Matthew Stafford had a running game, he had his best season. You've been here 4 or 5 years, whatever long you've been here, and he still hasn't been able to run the football. He still hasn't been able to get those big uglies up front to open up holes for the running backs. You've still been able to identify a special running back that can basically supersede the failures and the lack of drafting up front. Bob Quinn has lacked to draft superstar players. Now, has he been up high in the draft and been fortunate enough to draft the guys that Mayhew was, and Stafford and Domicon and Calvin? Nah, he ain't been that high. But as other teams that's been in that 20 to 10 and 7 range, have they been able still to find superstar talent? Absolutely. Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, you know what I'm saying? You can keep going on and on with a list of people. They still been able to identify top-tier talent. Michael Thomas, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara. We can go on and on. He just ain't been able to identify those type of talent. Eric Kendricks. There's talent there. And maybe he said, well, my team ain't really been developing the talent where you brought these coaches in. So, it is what it is. Let me know what you feel. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All those links in the description. If you got business question, product sponsorship, video question, or just want to chop it up, want to make a donation, Cash App, PayPal, description. Appreciate the love, support, more shit, sports talk. It's your boy CJ Goodfellow.